Hi guys, it's Lori Seeley, functional medicine health coach. Um, I have to apologize for being kind of AWOL for like a little over a week. I was actually doing something rather exciting for me. Um, I'm planning to move to Florida really soon. So our house is just in the process of getting sold. We're negotiating with a buyer right now, and I'm so excited. We're just gonna like pick up roots and move south where the weather is wonderful. And let me tell you, it is so much better for your skin to live in an environment like that. So I just spent the last week there and I was frantic, like just looking at as many apartments as I possibly could fit into my 2 days in Orlando. And then and then I spent a day traveling, and then I went to St. Petersburg where I met with my business coach, and she's helping me a lot. She's helping me develop a couple new programs that I'm going to then have available to offer to you guys. And she's also helping me like with my Instagram account and like how to use certain features on there, because some of that stuff is still a little new to me. And so that was amazing. So I spent 2 days with her, and then my flight was canceled. I spent an extra day and had a really, like, that was actually a gift. It was actually very nice, that extra day. And now I'm back home. I'm back in Illinois, which isn't going to be my home for long, and I can focus more on you guys, which I can also do once I move to Florida too. But this is going to be a sort of a season of upheaval for me. So if you ever see that I'm kind of just not in here for a while, that's why. Like, you can just pretty much assume, oh, something's going on. She's packing, she's moving, she's driving. And then during those times, I'm going to still try and keep posting like in my Instagram stories. You can follow me on Instagram at Lori Gutsy. So I'll post that in the comments right now, so you can just copy that. Okay, at Lori Gutsy. Oi. Well, that's weird. It just like changed it to my name. Like I was tagging myself. Anyway, I'll put it in the comments later. So what we're here for today, I'm going to try and keep this kind of short because I know that your time is valuable, and I don't want to overwhelm you or anything. So I just wanted to talk about my blog post for this week that I posted on Monday, and I did make a link to that in there. It's all about the common symptoms of Candida overgrowth. Because I realized I wasn't doing that much education as to like what a Candida overgrowth looks like, and how you can kind of look at your body and listen to your symptoms and kind of consider a Candida overgrowth as one of the possibilities. I was thinking, oh, if people are following me, they must have Candida. But no, like some of you guys have IBS. Some of you guys have maybe a problem with heavy metals, and as those things are both very connected with Candida, that's why I talk about Candida a lot. And so I just wanted to cover some symptoms today, some common symptoms of Candida overgrowth. So now, as we know, Candida overgrowth creates a ton of inflammation in the body, which then creates a ton of symptoms, right? So Candida causes leaky gut. No matter what, Candida is an irritant to the gut, and it triggers the release of zonulin in the gut, which then stimulates leaky gut, okay? So I'm not going to get into that right now, but I do have a past like 3 or 4 posts on that. I linked to one of them. It's a post on how food sensitivities can lead to autoimmunity, but a lot of that post covers and talks about leaky gut and how it's connected with Candida and food sensitivity, and then also autoimmunity. So that's a lot. It's about leaky gut, but it's a lot broader as well. It covers a lot more information in there. That's a really good article for you guys to read if you're curious about more about leaky gut, okay? So anyway, because this overgrown Candida turns stronger and fungal and leaks out of the gut and travels all over the body, right? this strong fungal candida creates a whole host of neurological symptoms that most people would blame on age. But actually, it's happening to young people, old people, anyone suffering from fungal candida. I mean, of course, like there are lots of other things to blame those symptoms on, possibilities, but candida has all of these symptoms in common, okay? So that's brain fog, headache, migraine, confusion, fatigue, depression, and lots of other neurological symptoms like even anxiety and mood swings, right? So as I mentioned earlier, it sort of settles in the brain cells, this inflammation. That's when you get the brain fog and the headache and the mood swings, okay? And the fatigue and the depression. I remember when I was going through this myself, thank God I'm over it now, and I'm so excited to be able to help other people to get over it. I used to take cat naps at stoplights when I first started fighting candida. I would honestly pull up to a stoplight and just go, oh, I need a minute. And check around me to make sure the cars were still sitting there. My foot was still on the brake. I remember starting sentences and just not being able to remember simple words. I would get stuck. I would get stuck on a word like cloud. I mean, it was ridiculous, the kind of things that just wouldn't, I would forget my friends' names, people I knew for years, and I totally knew their name, just out the door. So besides that, I was just sad and irritable. I used to just, my daughter would ask me so many questions. And these are things that she was 4 years old at the time, maybe 3. And these are things that a 3 or 4 year old is they're full of questions. They want to know stuff. And then they challenge you a lot. Why did you say this if you said this? And, I'm well, actually those things go together, blah, blah, blah. And I would get so angry and so frustrated. And it was so difficult because I just had this thing weighing on my brain. And it was just so hard to communicate with my daughter, and I would get so irritable. I would apologize to her all the time, oh man, I'm sorry I'm acting like this. I don't mean to yell at you, but I couldn't explain to her what was going on because I didn't quite even know that I could blame that on my candida. I knew that I felt really overwhelmed because I didn't know what to cook myself for dinner. And that was making me irritable. That I could put together, but I didn't understand that the fungal candida was actually causing inflammation in my brain. And now this connects to something else that's very much tied in here. Now, all these symptoms, the depression, mood swings, anxiety, fatigue, brain fog, all those symptoms actually, if you go to a different kind of practitioner, they might not think about gut health or candida or IBS. They would probably think, oh, you're depressed. We don't know why, but you clearly don't have enough serotonin production. And they don't think about why you don't have enough, why you're not producing enough serotonin, right? Well, and I don't know if they necessarily know this, but I'll tell you, 80 to 90% of all serotonin is produced in the gut. And serotonin is a feel-good hormone. That's the thing that helps us to remain calm and even, right? It helps us to avoid mood swings and anger and anxiety. It keeps us on an even keel and good, right? And so when a doctor, wait, I'm not going to go there yet. Since 80 to 90% of that hormone is produced in the gut, consider when your gut is inflamed and irritated from candida, possibly other parasites, from a lack of beneficial bacteria, is your gut going to be able in that state to produce the amount of serotonin that you need? I'm thinking probably not. And so that's why you're having, that's another reason besides the fungus creating inflammation in your brain, you have this inflammation in your gut as well, and you're not producing enough serotonin. So this is like a double whammy, right? Fungus creating inflammation in the brain, irritation in the gut, which keeps you from producing the amount of serotonin that you need for your body and to function. So when a doctor prescribes an SSRI, which is a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, here's what it makes your body do. Once you produce serotonin, which you're already producing not enough, you already have inflammation in your brain that's making your symptoms worse, more intense, right? Now you're taking this reuptake inhibitor. And what that essentially does is it keeps what little serotonin you're producing flowing and circulating in your blood, okay? And since this is just, say, it's circulating in your blood, it's supposed to kind of get recycled. And since it's just stayed circulating in your blood and it doesn't get recycled the way that it's supposed to, your pituitary gland and your pituitary gland doesn't know that you need more serotonin production. So it doesn't ask for it. Because this is how there's all these hormones going from one gland to another that talk to each other. Your pituitary gland is supposed to tell the places that produce serotonin to produce it. And if your pituitary gland thinks that there's enough, you're not going to produce it. And eventually it's just going to fall off, and you're going to be producing even less than you were before. And the cause of your symptoms is just getting worse in the background, right? So I'm sure, heard of people who are taking SSRIs and they have to switch to a different one that does it in a different way, because it stops working after a while. Well, that's what happens. Actually, the drug is sort of designed to stop working after a while because they know that your pituitary gland isn't going to know that you need more, and it's going to stop telling your body to produce it over time, right? So now, I'm not against SSRIs in general. If someone is very, very down and they just need that right now, like as an emergency thing and temporarily, I think it's very useful. But as an ongoing drug, it's not beneficial. It doesn't work. So so that's something to chew on. And my whole point with this thing today is that I wanted you to understand that insufficient serotonin is not just a thing, like we don't just not know what causes that. What causes that in a lot of cases is irritation in the gut. And if you just figure out what that irritation is, and a lot of times it is Candida, and fix it and repair your gut, you're going to have so much more energy and you're going to be happy. And because you're going to suddenly have this serotonin production that just makes you feel like a real person again. It's kind of amazing. I experienced it myself. I'm clearly still experiencing it. I'm very vibrant and happy now. Who I was 6 years ago was a whole different story. It was just really difficult for me to get up in the morning and actually cook for myself and do all those mundane things, doing the laundry, cleaning the house. I didn't have it in me. It was even hard to go to work. So I know what you guys are going through, and it doesn't have to be that way. Okay? You can come out of this on the other side vibrant and really, really happy. You really can. So listen, I want to know, anybody who's watching here, either live or in the replay, I want to know, what is your biggest symptom or just your most troubling symptom right now? The thing that that's bothering you the most, or the thing that you're most worried about. Okay? Type it in the comments here and we will start talking about it. Okay? I'll see if I can help you. So next week I'm going to address sugar cravings, genital yeast, and sinus infections, which are some more really horrible, annoying symptoms of Candida. We're going to be talking about that next week. Okay. See you guys soon. Mwah. Bye.